What's going on, everyone? It's Bales, and welcome back to another AFL Fantasy Trade Talk video. It is Wednesday ahead of round 7. We got footy tonight, so footy's come around very, very quickly, which is making me very happy. If we get our footy every day, that'd be fantastic. But we've only had to wait a couple of days, and here we are, people making their trades ahead of round 7. So, before we get into the most trade in-out players and all that jazz, make sure you do smash a like on the video. It'd be very much appreciated if we can hit 100 likes on this video once again. That'd be fantastic. Also, make sure you do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We just passed 2,100 subscribers, so thank you for that little milestone there. We're obviously on our way to 3,000 subscribers. Obviously, the goal is to get there by the end of the season. I don't know if we'll get there, but if you can help out and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. So, let's get stuck in straight away. Obviously, it won't be. I don't think this will be too long a video like normal. I think it would be pretty quick, just because we've only got footy tonight, so we've got to get stuck into it. So, number one option, Hugo Garcia, most trade-in player, 17.8k. Fair enough as well. He's probably really only downgrade target available this week. There are obviously a couple of others. You got Lafau, you got Drury, Big Nuon, Loamy if you want to spend up, but I'm not really sold on any of those guys. Hugo Garcia, I am. If you don't have him, you get him. If you're looking for a downgrade, apart from him, it's slim picking. So, Garcia is my number one target in terms of rookie downgrades. Second most trade-in, 6.7k jumping on him. It is Jack Macrae. I'm quite keen on him, to be honest. He's obviously averaging 78 for the year, down at 715k. But if you remove that sub game that he had, what was it, in round 4? Yeah, round 4 where he scored 28 points. He's played maybe about a quarter or just over, scored 28, which is pretty good. He's actually averaging about that 91 mark, or just over 90, so which actually puts him as the 5th highest averaging forward behind Heaney, Flanders, Zorko, and Tom Powell. So he's next at 5th there. So I think he's a pretty good option. Break into 74. You're not dropping much, really going to drop any more. And I think DC made a good point about it on the Hat Chat pod. I think he's got a point to prove now. So I like him as a target this week, and a few people jumping on him there. And he's got a decent run. Freo this week, into Hawthorn, into Richmond. The good matchups there. I like Jack Macrae as an option. Sam Walsh is next, 4.6k jumping on him. Scored 101 last week, was pretty solid. I still don't mind him as an option there at 9.11. Is that what he's priced at? 9.11, somewhere around there. Yeah, 9.11. So 88 break even, still going to go up a little bit. Obviously, not bringing him in to make cash. You're bringing him in for points. Geelong, Collingwood, Melbourne. Not a bad run of 3 games. All at the MCG as well, which is nice. There we go. Got the mute button. Apologies for that. I haven't done that in a video for a long, long time. There you go. We got it out the way, so let's keep moving forward. But yeah, Sam Walsh, don't mind him as an option at a bit of a decent price there. Nick Dacos, probably one of the top targets for the week. Got Essen this week. I don't think you have to go there this week, but by no means am I saying he's a bad option. He is a great option to bring in. Collingwood seem to have clicked into a bit of gear. They looked good against Port last week, so and I think the time is right to bring him in. I think this is what we all said at the beginning of the year. We're not going to start him, but just after his bye, maybe not the Port game, but the game after is where we're going to look at targeting him. So if you can get him this week, he is a great option, I think. I think we have to have him by round 9. I think round 9, that game against West Coast could be a big game there. He then goes into Adelaide, Freo, Bulldogs, Melbourne, North Melbourne, and then the bye. So that's a really good run there up until his bye. Even from now, he might cop some attention from, as Roy likes to say, there. So he might cop some attention from him. And then the Hewitt one, I'm a little bit concerned about that one the week after. Carlton have always tend to tag Dacos. But besides that, I even still think you can jump in next week regardless. I think he's a good option and someone I would be definitely looking at. Sam Flanders, another good option. Nearly 4k jumping on him. Got West Coast this week. Not really much more to add, to be honest, for him. 126, 125, back-to-back scores there. 84 break even. He's going to start to get away from you in terms of price if you don't have him. So if you don't have him, I'll be jumping on. He's up to over 55% ownership, and a lot of the people at the top have got him now. So if you don't have him, I'd be making it almost a priority to bring him in because he's a good option. Jai Caldwell, just over 3k jumping on him. He's a good option and he's played really well. If you jumped on him a few weeks ago, you'd be loving life at the moment. He was a very good pick when a few of those Essendon guys did go out, 300s in a row. The only flag I've got with him is that role may not change. May change, is you've got Setterfield to come back. Shield has been talking about he might be coming back potentially this week, if not next week. Archie Perkins will come back in as well. Merritt didn't have any CVAs in the second half last week. Parrish hasn't looked the same player. So a lot of moving pieces there. Caldwell could keep this role and be a top 6 forward. But I feel like even a guy like a McRae, if you don't have a Flanders, maybe a Heaney if you want to pay up top dollar for him, they've got better, more secure roles, I think, than what a Jai Caldwell does. But that I'm not saying he's a bad pick. He's still got a 40% break even. If you're not sold on McRae, I don't mind getting a Caldwell because he's probably next on the list in terms of those forwards around that 700k marker there. So Heaney's there. He's expensive, 2.7k jumping on. He's got Hawthorn this week. Probably put up another big score. I don't think I could personally pay up for him now. If you didn't get him, I think I would just try and take him on in a way. 962k is a lot of money to spend on a forward, and Parker's probably back this week, if not next week. So, I feel like if you don't have him now, I would just be waiting until after his round 12 bye, and then targeting him in round 13, 14, 15 if you didn't have him by then. I think he is too expensive now to really be looking at Ocean. Just getting Sydney's thing here. Yeah, Luke Parker's listed as a test. Apparently needs clearance from a surgeon to play. So he could play. If not, he'll probably be back next week. So, yeah, Heaney, I don't know if I'd pay top dollar for him. I'd look at him post his round 12 bye if you don't have him now. Zorko, 2.7k jumping on him. He's just too expensive for me now. And again, DC made another good point saying, when have we paid for a 35-year-old at a price of 103? 908k is expensive. He's essentially top dollar now. He's been great. If you jumped on him a few weeks ago, that's good. I just don't think I could do it now. He's going to get rested. He's going to be subbed out. Something's going to happen in the next month or two. I just don't think I couldn't pay top dollar, especially when like guys like Dacos and whatever are cheaper. Even Flanders is only 2k more expensive than Zorko. If you didn't have Flanders, I'd definitely be going to him. McRae's like just under 200k cheaper than him. I'd rather go there. Even a Caldwell as well. I'd rather other options than getting a Zorko, I think, at this point in time there. And then you got the Gold Coast duo of Sam Closey and Will Graham. I think for me, if you don't have Closey, it's almost too late. Like, it's not too late. Negative 15 brain, you've still got cash to make, but you're paying a fair bit. I guess you can still jump on him, because if you've got Garcia and you didn't get a Closey or whatever, there's not many other options. So you could theoretically go him, and even Graham, who's the 10th most trading player. You theoretically could go both. Both have still got negative break-evens. Will Graham's still under 400, so you could. It just feels bad when everyone else paid under 300k for both these guys. And maybe Graham a little bit over 300 when I got him. I got him at 320 odd. I think 323. But I couldn't do it now. I personally, I could do it. It just feels bad. So you can still do it if you've got the other rookies and stuff sorted. A few other options here. Matt Scorn, great, good option still. I know he's expensive, but if you're looking for a ruck and you can afford him, and he's still a pretty solid option. Maybe you could look at an English who's a bit cheaper. Something like that potentially could be a play. But no, he's looked really good. So I couldn't begrudge anyone bringing in Maxi Gawn there, especially if they want to VC him tomorrow night or tonight. John Dawson, good option. I think he should play in the midfield as a number one option. He played really well. It was probably one of the only reasons Crows were still in that game. He got him back in the game with his massive second quarter. You could wait a week to see with Crouch back if Dawson's role does stick. I think it will. I think he was more moved out of the midfield against Carlton just because he wasn't having much impact in the game, and he was being tagged by George Hewitt. So, you could go him this week. He's then got Port Brisbane, a couple of tougher games. He's got a pretty nice run after that. Collingwood, Eagles, Hawks, Tigers, and Swans, and then he's got his bye. So you definitely could look at Jordan Dawson. I like him as an option, and I'm hoping he goes well because I got him. Nick Martin, Elliot Yeo. Elliot Yeo now is probably one you probably don't go to now. 789 is expensive. It's not like he's been like setting the world on fire in terms of scores. So he's had a couple of hundreds there, but he's more a 90-odd, 95-ish guy, I think. So if you don't have him now, I'd just be looking at other options personally. He's been great, and for all of us that have got him, we hope he keeps going. But it's a bit risky now because you never know what's going to happen. Could he get injured? So, I don't know about now. Nick Martin, He's expensive now. You could theoretically go there, but again, you might want to look at... I guess you could probably just look for cheaper options. Like Dacos is cheaper. You probably don't have Dacos. A lot of people don't have Dacos, so you could go Dacos at this point. There's other guys in defence that you could look at. So I don't... If you had a few other options, you're looking at him, yeah, I don't mind it, but he's expensive. Then you got Baker as well, who I'll touch on. In terms of forwards, I've got him behind McRae and Caldwell. If I was ranking them, I'd probably go McRae, Caldwell, Baker. And then Adams is probably last on the list. I think, is Adams been brought in by anyone this week? Errol's been brought in by a couple of coaches there as well. No, I'm not seeing Taylor Adams here at all, so no one's really... Oh, there we go. So 371 coaches jumping on him. So I'd have him last there. But yeah, Baker, solid option. He's been good. It just, is his role going to shift when Prestia and Hopper and guys like that do come back? I know Taranto and Ross are out for a fair bit, so it's really only it's only really Hopper and then maybe Prestia as well. But he's been good. Besides the 46, he's gone over 85 in every game, and he's gone pretty well in his last three. But yeah, he's just a bit risky. I think McRae has got, and I think McRae's got the more secure job security. I think Caldwell's probably got the better upside than a Baker. I don't mind all three if you're looking for a forward, but yeah, I think McRae is my pick there. Going to most traded out players now. So Zach Williams is the most traded out, 17k. I think he can go. I was originally bullish on potentially holding him for a week, and if you had a Massimo and other rookies and stuff, dealing with them first. But he's listed as a test this week. Who's to say if he gets another knock, he doesn't get subbed out mid-game? So for me, because of that reason, break even to 76. And if you've got him, you're playing him on field most likely. If he got subbed up another 30, he's dropping like another 30k, and then it's costing you or whatever. So for me, I think I'm definitely happy to jump off of him, and probably more coming around to the fact of trading him. Riley Sanders can go. His break even's up in the 80s, I think. 83. Yes, he got forward stats, which is great if you got him. He's not high priority. I think he's still serviceable at F6, especially if Harley Reid is out. As time recording, Tom Morris did say that he was out. It might have been confirmed by now by the time this video is out that Reid is being managed this week. But Sanders could be a good F6 for the time being, and he's not a priority. But if you can get him out, I think it is still a good move. Massimo, yep, got to go. Simple as that. Don't even need to go into much detail for that. 8.5 days of coach jumping off, 96 break even. He lost 30k last week. He's got to go. Simple as that. So he's a priority trader. He'd be one of my top priorities this week to trade out. Luke Jackson, 121 break even. Sean Darcy comes back. He doesn't have the role. I'd be happy to jump off him this week. You could go, if going him down to McRae, and then if you've had 200k in the bank, then go Muscle to Dacos. Perfect. I love it. So yeah, I think Jackson can go. It is team dependent, I think, with Jackson. If you've got bigger issues, you could theoretically keep him, but I'd be happy to jump off with that bigger break even, personally for me. Tom Stewart, I think he can go. I know a few people have talked about holding him, and I guess if a Blake House tonight goes and scores a 70 plus, you could keep him. I just think when you look at his scores this year, besides that Crows game where he got a 114, where he was essentially the Crows' 23rd man in that game, a lot of 380s here. Obviously, this score he probably would have been on track for about a 90 to 100. He got the one to against Hawthorn, but Hawthorn give up points. I just haven't seen really anything from Tom Stewart to suggest he's going to be a top 6 defender this year. Max Holmes going back there has been bad, I think, in a way for Stewart in terms of all the free ball he gets back there. Not really seen him getting a lot of those +6 sort of chip marks around the ground that he has been accustomed to in the past. So he might be an option for us soon with a 141 break even. If we're looking for a defender that gets under 800k and maybe 750, he could be an option. But I think he's a trade out. Him to Dacos is going to cost you 80k, and I think that's a really good trade, so I'll be doing that. Dersma can go, 3.3k jumping off him. He's done. I think he's bleeding cash now. Yeah, 19k lost last week. Yep, he can go. Fisher, on the other hand, I'd be a little bit more... I don't know. With Fisher's an interesting one. So, besides last week, so he got a 60. He's averaging 76 for the year. 85 break even. 10 points over his price there. I know he's Tom and Grant's gone down the last couple of weeks, which isn't a good thing. I just think he hasn't been doing anything wrong, really. And it's not like the forwards are setting the world on fire that you need to go and get someone. Again, if you've got no issues and you can go Fisher to a McRae or a Caldwell or whatever, fair enough, fair play. Yeah, I'll tick it off. But I feel like there are bigger issues than Fisher in your team. I'd still rather get rid of a Dempsey, who's getting on the list here. I think I'd rather go Jackson out first. He's got more cash on his head. And if Sheasel does go into the midfield forward role that Clarko flagged in the press after the game on the weekend, I still feel that Fisher could get a lot more of that ball back there and then start getting some more 85, 90 plus scores. So I don't think he's an urgent trade out, but again, a little bit team dependent. If he's one of your bigger issues, he can go. Kyle McKercher can go. I know he got defender status, but his price is going down. 72 break even. Again, it's a bit like, it's pretty much the exact same thing as Sanders. If you've got other issues to deal with, you can hold him. He's probably a fieldable rookie as well. He can pop a good score. If he gets an 80 or a 90 this week, his cash starts to go back at the right direction. But again, if him down, Sanders up, gets you to the play you want, I'd be happy enough to do that. Ollie Dempsey can go as well. But then again, he's probably one I'd rather almost hold over McKercher and Sanders, just because 58 break even. He's then got back-to-back games at the MCG, which is good. So I don't mind that. He can be kept and played at F5 or S6 still. So I don't think he is a must trade out. Oh, I was waiting for that for a while. Had to come out. There. So Charlie Lazaro can go. He was a sub last week. 40 break even, 400k. He's done the job. He's gone up 112k, but he can go. Jai Clark can go. Blake Howes I'll probably keep for one. You can loop him tomorrow night and see how he goes, but I'd probably prefer to keep him. I think you've got other guys you can downgrade. And with Salem out, he looked a bit better before his bye. Salem was obviously out again for a few weeks. Got Tigers this week. Good matchup. I'd be happy to hold him there. And then you get into some other players like Sexton, Green, Windsor. They can all go. Wilson I'd keep. I know he's got Port this week. Tough matchup, but I'd prefer to keep him. So they're the most traded out players. Not really too much really to discuss with them, to be honest. They're pretty straightforward. They're either injured, stop making cash, or you can just get rid of them. Top 5 options for the week. I'm going to say number 1 is Hugo Garcia, if you don't have him, just because there's not really any other rookie options I like outside of Garcia. So that's why I'd put him at number 1 if you don't have him. But a few people jumped on last week, so if you did, obviously you could move to your number 2 option. Number 2, I will put Nick Dacos there, just because of the fact that he is going to be a top 6 defender. You can get him at a fairly cheap price compared to what he started at. By no means is he a must-have this week. I think if you can't afford him, don't go breaking your team. And I don't think you should break your team really for anyone, but don't go break your team to bring Dacos in this week. You can always get him next week or the week after. His break-in's 121. It's not like you're going to miss him if you don't get him this week. So I'll put him at number 2 just because he's a very good option. But I don't think he's a necessity. I think 3, I'm putting Jack Macrae there. Because, yes, he's not going to be the 110 plus guy that we've seen in the past. We don't need him to be. I think people are probably still looking at Macrae from last year and going, oh, like, he only averaged 93, frustrating, this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, last year, people started him priced at over 100. And they got obviously less than that. This year, we're paying, I think it was about an 80 to like 83. I think he's priced at 81 or something like that. He's 715k. He's really cheap. I think he's going to be a top 6 forward. Even if he goes at 93, which is what he averaged last year, which I think is certainly more than cheap. I think he could go high 90s as an average. And you're getting a top 6 forward under 720k. I think it's a good pick. I still like him, and I'd get him there as well. I think number 4, I would put... I'll go Sam Flanders if you don't have him. Just because I know he's 910k. If you don't have him, I think you have to get him in. And again, don't break your team to do it. If you don't have him, no, I'd be trying to make it a priority. I'd rather get him over Dacos. I think I'd get him over Dacos, but I'm putting him low on this because not as many people need him. And I guess Dacos is more value. He's 24k cheaper. So, but Flanders, I like at 4. And number 5, I think I will put Caldwell there. Even though... by no means do you have to bring him in. I just think he's a good option up forward. But I would rather Macrae, I think. Other good options as well. I think it is those midfielders like your Errol Goulden, Sam Walsh is obviously there as well. You've got I really like Connor Rosie. I know he's got a big break even, but maybe you don't do it this week, but maybe it could be an option in a week or two's time. Same with Sarong. I wouldn't get Sarong this week. He's too expensive. But in a few weeks' time, round 13 bye, I like him. Butters the same thing as well. Butters is probably a guy that you could almost jump on this week as well. Like Butters, 911 coach are jumping on him there. He is priced at 916, so 5k more than Walsh. I probably almost would go Butters over Walsh just because of the bye now, because the buys are only 5 weeks away. So we've got 13 trades before buys start. You've got to start probably thinking about them a little bit now. Got a good run as well up to that point. As I said, good buy. Butters makes sense. I'd rather Rosie next week. If you wait a week and it's between Butters and Rosie, I'd then get Rosie. But if you're looking at a midfield this week, I think Butters is a good play as well. And a few of those other midfielders are as well. Bont, Dawson as well, a couple of other options that you could consider there. So a few options to consider this week. I think it'll be quite diversified this week. I think obviously day costs and guys like that will be popular, but I think a few people will be bringing in some different options. My trades this week, is it again, am I doing this for like a third or fourth week in a row? Not quite. So I'm getting rid of the first and the third most traded out. So I think at this stage I'm going Williams out and Massimo out. And I will be bringing in Garcia. And I will be bringing in Jack McRae. They're the two I'll be bringing in. I was 30k short of Nick Dacos, and I can't get him because if I got Dacos, I would either have to sacrifice a player that I don't want to trade, or I'd have to get a rookie that I don't want. And I think Garcia I need to get in. So I'll get McRae this week. I bank about 157k if I trade Williams out. And then next week, if I go, say, Cadman down, I can then go Dempsey up to a Dacos next week. So that's what I'm probably looking at, or even a Rosie or something like that next week. So, but yeah, it'd probably be Dacos to be fair. But that's what I'm looking at doing next week. But yeah, this week it'd be McRae and Garcia coming in for Williams and Massimo. I've thought about Cadman out instead of Williams. I just feel that there is a risk of if Williams is playing and he gets a knock, he could be subbed out, and they have said they're going to manage him. So I think I'm just happy to just jump off now while I can. So yeah, I think that's what I'll be doing with my trades there. But let me know in the comments below, guys, what you guys doing with your trades this week. If you've got any trade questions, put them in the comments below, and I'll try and get them as soon as possible. Apologies if I do miss maybe any Wednesday or Thursday questions. I will try and answer those, like as many questions I can tomorrow, just because I know games will be. But I am going out for dinner, my birthday being on Thursday, so I may be unavailable just before the footy starts, watching the game. But I'll try my best to get to as many questions as I can. But yeah, make sure you leave them in the comments below. Smash like on the video if you can. Actually, because of my birthday on tomorrow, mate, let's get 200 likes on the video for this. And yeah, if you want to leave me a birthday gift, leave a like on the video and make sure you subscribe to the channel as we try and reach firstly 2200, then 2500, then 3000. So yeah, make sure you subscribe. Follow me on all the socials at AEST. Good luck this week. I'll obviously chat to you guys on the Friday pre-lockout chat. Obviously me and Tim will be live at the usual time of 6 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Western Standard Time there, chatting and going through some more questions. Have a few games after that. So we have 3 games played already in the round. So we'll be focusing on these other 6 games coming from there. But yeah, make sure you guys tune to that. And obviously watch along as well. I'll be doing a live watch along on Saturday night, which will be Fremantle and the Western Bulldogs. So I'm looking forward to that game. Got a few players in that game. So make sure you guys tune into that as well. Head over to YouTube and yeah, and we can chat about everything AFL Fantasy and AFL and see how we're all going for the round. But yeah, thanks guys for tuning in as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next video on the Friday pre-lockout chat. So thanks guys, enjoy the footy. I'm out. Cheers.